G'day, my name's Darryl Webb. Today we're going to have a look at the Space Dome 2 two-man tent by Unigear. Anyway, let's get into it. So, a few weeks ago, Unigear sent me an email asking me if I'd like to review a new tent they brought out. And I'd heard of Unigear before. They're one of the budget lines, but they seem to be, like a lot of these manufacturers now. They're definitely in the budget line, but their gear's pretty good. Well, we'll find out. The specs look good, and I thought I would definitely check it out. Now, it's funny actually, once you're on YouTube a bit, you get a lot of messages from people wanting you to review stuff. A lot. I don't really do a lot of bad reviews because I actually check all the gear first online and see if I'm interested or not, because otherwise, if it's just sort of junk, and sometimes you can tell that just by looking at it, I'm wasting your time and I'm wasting my own time doing reviews on stuff that's not that good. So this guy being a nice little two-man tent and having the aluminium pole system or whatnot sounded quite interesting. So we'll set it up and see what it's all about. The pegs are a hexagon shepherd's hook style peg. They look quite nice. The poles are aluminium, and they've got these nice little ends on them for holding into the corners of the tent. There's 4 of them in total. 2 long ones across and 2 short ones to push the sides out. Short one, and these should be 2 longer ones. Actually going corner to corner and making the dome. It's pretty much a traditional style dome tent in that aspect. Alright, let's see what it's like to thread them through, because that's always the bugbear with dome tents. Some now are going to the clip-on ones, but this sort of got a bit of both. So we'll see what it's like. Well, that's really simple. Now just these clips. Now what this, before I put the fly on, I just sort of wanted to show you what the basic idea is behind this tent. So, you'll notice it slopes down at an angle. They list this as a 3-season tent. Like a lot of them these days, I would call it nearly a 3.5. It's pushing towards that way that it can handle a bit more bad weather. As you'll notice, the line actually goes down. The mesh is much lower on this side than it is on that side. So I think the idea is if you've got predominant weather coming in, you can spin the more sheltered side towards the wind. Also, it works the other way too on nights where it's really, really hot, which we have here in Australia, as you all know. If you need a bit more ventilation, you can point the more mesh side towards the wind, and you can wind these windows down and make them just mesh as well. Now, sort of just goes into these little grommets. The poles clip on these clips all the way around. Then you've got the cross poles go to these little clips, all quite smart. It's nearly actually got like a geodesic sort of shape along the top. This one should be quite strong, but the pole slips through these really easy, and the clips go nice and easy, and it clips onto these. So that's looking pretty nice. So far, the build quality, everything I'm seeing, it's the stitching looks really good. It's tape seamed. There's a few loose threads that are just hanging onto the thing. They actually aren't part of it. Just trimmings, I guess, off the floor maybe. But so far, everything's looking pretty good. A couple of tiny threads there. When the fly goes on, the fly has got matching clips to here, so it actually holds in 4 points, holds the fly on. And the actual fly just goes on with these clips, and you can tension the fly as needed. Pretty simple way of doing it. Clips all seem good quality too. Okay, that's it, sort of all pitched the way you would see it. I'm not doing this on a nice level someone's front lawn or anything. This is actually in the bush on slightly unlevel ground. So it sort of lets you see that how you'd expect the pitch to come up. It's also got some vents in the top here, little standoffs on Velcro, so you can pop them open, and you can always batten down the hatches if it's cold, I guess. One of them on each side, and you can see the two different types of doors. So this one's a traditional door, just a flap you can roll up or stand out on some trekking poles and make it a little porch. And the other side is a single one in the front, but it's got some smart ideas. It's got a double wave zip, so you can do, get my finger out of the way, you can do it that style. Everything sort of velcros down, but it's also, you sort of undo it like that, or undo it all the way. We'll have a better look at that. So with it undone this way, it's just got toggles. It's got toggles so you can either roll up to halfway and have it like that. Which I guess will give you, if you're in rain, you can still get some good ventilation and still have protection from the rain. Or, you know, I stay like it is today, you can, got little toggles there, and you can roll it all up just like a traditional tent with toggles. Simple and easy. Alright. We'll have a look inside. Inside room. I'm 6 foot tall, I put my feet so they're touching the bottom. Yeah, I think up to about 6'6" would be okay, this tent. And it's really wide, so like for a 2-man tent this is quite big. You know, some they say they're 2-man, but it's like, oh, you could fit in there head to tail and a struggle. This one easily 2 bigger sized men like myself could fit in there fine. Probably with a bit of, you know, if you're sort of 6 foot tall, 100 kg, something like I'm sitting at, you'd fit 2 of you in here and there'd be room for a bit of gear at your feet. So nothing wrong with that. Okay, sort of looking inside, you've got pockets for your roll-up doors to pop into, one on either side, and you've got a mesh pocket at the top end. The roof has got tie downs for maybe even if you want to put in a gear loft, or maybe to string some strings up for drying stuff on, and a centre hook for maybe hanging your lantern on. Besides that, what can I say about it? It's big inside. For a 2-man tent, that's massive. I'll put the specs up for the floor space, but for 2-man, that's quite big. I'm just trying to show the mesh here. It's it's that real fine polyester. It's a no-seam mesh, so camp anywhere with that stuff. You're not going to have mozzies or anything getting in on you. Another good thing about the build quality, if you ever had dome tents where they fail, you know the areas they fail in the bottom corners here. This is the materials have doubled up and stitched quite hard for the little tie-up points on the bottom, and lots of stitching and doubling of material there, and all seam taped again, so no worries about leakage or damage there. The bathtub quite thick, feels very strong. And as you can see, it's got a nice wide double stitching with tape seam tape going over right over the joint as well as the stitching itself. Has these nice little openings with a little flap so water can't blow up and in. And you can also, if you were in terrible weather, you can take that down, poke it under, whatever, get it out of the way, and lock down your little hatches. So you can get lots of ventilation, but you can also close it up for foul weather. It also comes with 4 tie-out points, one on each corner. It comes with some supplied stakes and guy lines for that. So if you're in real foul weather, you can stake it out and that should be right. The zippers don't have any branding on them that I can see. They've got those nice little pull cords, but they're a fair size. They're not tiny ones or anything like that. They're actually good size and they feel nice and they don't seem to grab or jam. So zips are good. So I like the overall quality, and it definitely is at the budget end. And I don't think you're going to do much better than this for the money, is in when you start getting into these aluminium pole tents that are capable of some light winter camping and whatnot, strong for their size and weight. This one is, on the site, it's $129 US. It's about 170, 180 Australian. And if you look around a tent, you'll know yourself, that's not a lot of money to pay for a tent that's aluminium poled and in one of these more modern fancy type designs. So price wise you can't go wrong. Alright, and here's the other door side. All very nice. Alright, I guess we'll go with some pros and cons. Now I'm going to start off with this by saying I haven't slept in it, I haven't used it in heavy weather, so I can only go by my first impressions. So take these with a grain of salt, I guess, but I've had enough tents in my time to know what ones seem to work and what don't, and the design of this seems really good. So we'll start off with some pros. Everything's sort of double stitched and seam taped, so I don't think leaking is going to be an issue. The design of it's really good. I like these extra poles. It makes it so the edges are very square on the side, so even when you're right on the side, you can sit up and your head's not hitting the roof, that's a big bonus. Having the 2 doorways, that's always a welcome bonus, because you know, nothing worse than have to climb over people at night if you need to go, you know, nature calls. So now you've got your own door on each side to get in and out. I like it that it has that high one end inner with less mesh, and the mesh comes down a lot lower on the other side. That would make this quite good in I guess for Australia, probably our winters. because it could also be a bit of a pain that you know, in summer it might not have as much ventilation as you'd like. You can never get enough ventilation on a on the night where it's sort of sitting at 30 degrees till 11 o'clock at night. But this would be a good winter tent. I would definitely say that for Australian winters. Even a light dusting of snow, I don't think it would handle it. It would hurt it because it's got a nice solid aluminium pole system, and it's made in polyester, so it doesn't stretch, so it'd be good for wet weekends away type scenarios. That also goes on to the cons, so we'll do some of the cons. It's polyester, so unfortunately why it doesn't stretch and does some of these other nice things, it also means it's heavy. So this tent comes in at a tad over 3 kilograms. And there's not really much ways of being able to lighten that. You know, there's no ground sheet or anything like that to sort of say I can leave this at home. The floors is a quite thick floor, all tape seam. You're not going to have any worries about leakage or anything like that. But just the general material is a bit tougher than what it probably needs to be for your average hiker, being at 3 kilos. But with that said, if you're car camping, if there's two of you, then that's fine, because you can, one person can carry the fly and the poles, and the other person can carry the inner and the stakes. But that is a bit of a con, being 3 kilos. But I guess for a bit of heavy weather, you know, you normally are carrying heavier stuff. Everything's a bit heavier in winter, isn't it? Anyway, I guess I'll make that into my conclusion. I said Unigear sent this to me, so I didn't have to pay for it, but I get to say what I want. I don't have to, you know, they didn't ask me to say just nice things, so I'm not going to blow smoke up your bums. I think it's a good heavy duty tent that is solidly constructed in that sort of more lightweight style with aluminium poles and that. You're getting a fair few strength things there. The only problem, as I said, the weight is definitely a little bit heavier for hiking. But if you're in a canoe or in a car, or you know, off a quad bike, or you know, however it is you're getting around, if you don't have to carry it, or there's two people that are going to share it, then that weight's fine. Would I buy this? For hiking, no, I wouldn't. It's too heavy. For car camping, canoe camping, camping off your quad bike, whatever the type of thing you're doing like that, yeah, I definitely would. It's a really nice tent, and the design's really smart. I love these straight wall sides. It's a real problem in dome tents that when you sit up, if you're on the side, that your head touches the side. I don't think you're going to have any problems with condensation or anything. There's heaps of ventilation, there's heaps of mesh, and being polyester and fully seam tape, I think it would handle some sort of more wet weather, winter, Australian winter conditions quite well. Anyway, on that note, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, thumbs down. Tell me why in the comments. And I'll see you all again soon, because I've definitely got some more stuff to review that you're going to like. Bye for now.